afternoon, welcome to Teleislas News with the most relevant and important information of the day. In the last hours, the appointment of a new interim director of the regional headquarters of Cena in San Andreas was announced.
By means of this resolution, the General Secretariat of the National Learning Service, Cena, ordered the appointment of Diego León Fernández Hurtado as General Director of Cena's regional headquarters in San Andres for a term of 3 months. Fernández Hurtado assumes the administration of the training center, which was previously under the direction of Leonora Barragán Bedoya as interim director for 8 months after the departure of the previous director of the entity, Lorena Aldana. The new director spoke exclusively for Teleislas News.
I try to follow the guidelines that have been carried out during these 8 months. The coordinators already have their goals established. Each coordinator that is in the regional headquarters has their goals and objectives, and they are going to develop them as they have been developing them. The emphasis that is going to be done is in the work environment, that everyone may be working in the best way possible.
During the last administration of Lorena Aldana, the Union of Employees of the Cena regional headquarters in San Andres have expressed their disagreement with some decisions made in the academic center. Fernández Hurtado said to have good relations with the union and maintain good communication with employees.
I am part of the union from the subdirectorate with my colleague Shane Brackman. We have been working in the best way possible. With the previous director, Leonora, we solved issues that generated controversy in the regional headquarters.
The appointment of the official was made in the early hours of the morning, and it is expected to help improve the management and image of the training center.
For the 17th version of the Business Rhythm 2022 survey, nearly 7,000 companies were consulted out of a universe of 40,000 companies affiliated to 25 chambers of commerce of the country from 15 departments that contribute 83.5% of the GDP, where San Andreas scored along with another municipality in a positive way, both in employability and sales.
According to what was reported by the Chambers of Commerce in the Business Rhythm survey for the second semester of 2022, where the perception of economic growth, investment, employment, and economic environment of the affiliated companies was consulted, San Andreas was among the departments that scored in terms of economic reactivation, showing 51% in the first semester of 2022.
En el caso puntual de San Andrés,
in the specific case of San Andres, 51.5% of the companies indicated that their sales increased in the first semester of this year, and 7.1% stated that they decreased, which shows a very wide difference there. In contrast, companies registered in the chambers of Buga, Urabá, Cauca, Buenaventura, Ipiales, and Cúcuta had a higher percentage of companies that said that their sales decreased versus those that increased.
On the other hand, the figures regarding employability were explained, where San Andres also showed positive results.
Lo que es el empleo, la cifra.
Regarding employment, the figures here as well as in sales, the figures have an important and marked regional difference. Outstanding figures for the case of the Southern Abura Chamber of Commerce, again for the case of San Andres, Cartagena, Medellin, and Cali, which have positive figures and higher than the percentages of companies that said they decreased.
Recalling the regrettable fact that affected the insular territory in 2012 after the International Court of The Hague recognized the sovereignty of San Andreas archipelago to Colombia, but at the same time granted about 75,000 square kilometers of sea to Nicaragua. Here we want to inform the community of the statements that the commander of Nicaraguan Army has given in reference to the ruling.
During the 43rd anniversary of the founding of the Nicaraguan Army, held on September 2nd in its capital Managua, the Army Commander Julio Cesar Avilés urged Colombia to comply with the sentence handed down by the International Court of Justice of The Hague in 2012 and ratified in April 2022.
Hacemos valer la ley nicaragüense.
We are ratifying Nicaraguan law in the vast Caribbean seas that belong to us, Caribbean seas restored to our homeland by the International Court of Justice in November 2012 and forcefully ratified by this highest court in its ruling on April 21st of this present year. Those vast waters and sea floor with all its wealth are our people's patrimony, and even with existing limitations, we will continue with a high patriotic sense of firmness and discipline, fulfilling the sacred duty of safeguarding and protecting our waters and resources before those who refuse to comply with the sentence that has no turning back.
The statements were made after it became known of part of Foreign Minister Álvaro Leiva that approaches are being made to Nicaragua. However, taking into account the absence of Colombia in the OAS vote that sought to condemn the regime of Daniel Ortega, President of Nicaragua, against NGOs and religious institutions, such approaches were terminated. Thus, the Central American country ratifies its determination that Colombia comply with the ruling issued by International Court of Justice in 2012, which was ratified last April 2022.
In other news, the National Registry Office has started the mass issuance of the digital cedula, where interested persons can start the process to acquire it.
The National Registrar's Office has started the issuance of the digital identification card, which will be free for young people applying for the first time. Those who wish to change their cedula may do it as a duplicate, which has a cost and a duration of approximately 20 days for its activation and delivery of the physical document. The strategic plan of the 21st Century Registrar's Office establishes that the digital ID card will be issued physically and the application on mobile devices can be activated through facial biometrics.
According to the enunciation that the registrar gave a week ago about the massification of the cedula, I hereby inform the community of San Andreas, Providence, and Santa Catalina that the digital cedula is a new technological innovation that is available for Colombians. After 22 years, we are going to have a digital cedula. How would the transition process be? It will be done gradually. Young people who turn 18 years of age when they come to make their identification card for the first time will have a digital card which is totally free. People who for X or Y reason have lost their document will have a duplicate card and will have a value of 55,750 pesos. There are two forms of payments on the web page, and the other is in person.
It is worth noting that with the digital ID card, you can obtain several benefits such as the impossibility of forgery or adulteration, biometric identification and authentication, the impossibility of identity theft or usurpation, protection of personal data, and passport-free entry to all member countries of the Andean community.
The annual fair where economic development is boosted through the meeting of tourism and hotel associations in Colombia will begin in the coming days.
With more than 170 stands, more than 4,000 attendees, and more than 130 national and international travel buyers, the Colombia Travel Expo Tourism Fair will begin from September 8 to 10 at the Plaza Mayor in Medellin, where the San Andreas branch of Cotelco will participate. The event catalogued as largest venue for relations, promotion, and marketing of destination in its fifth version will be the space to showcase the beauty of the Colombian territory, where the islands will participate throughout the hotel guides in the department associated with Cotelco, which will ratify the tourist potential of the islands, selling the destination not only as sun and beach, but also for its human and cultural capital.
And now it's time for Sport News with Victor Fusalva.
Hello, here are the best sports of the islands, and this time at the Erwin O'Neill Football Stadium, where the Departmental League continue its process with the different tournaments. The Astros Soccer Club is the absolute leader of the Departmental League tournament in the pre-juvenile category after winning his last game against the Independiente Club. This victory leaves the team led by Danilo Angulo in the most privileged position in the tournament standings. Coach Angulo told us more details.
Nos ha tocado el último partido del
Greetings to the audience of the department. As you know, the Los Astros Sports Club will be participating in the league tournament. Today we played the last game of the tournament. We are absolute leaders in that category with 28 points. We took this game making the necessary sacrifices, order, and disposition that these boys have to train day by day in what is the technical, psychosocial, and most importantly, the analytical part to perform the function at the time of solving the matches, and that has helped us to score goals. Today's score was 2-1 beating the Independiente. The scorers continue, thank God, with the striker Anderson Robredo, who scored and is at the top of the scoring list of the department tournament.
Words of the scorer of the tournament, Anderson Robredo.
Me siento orgulloso.
I am proud to be the current goal scorer, thanks to my coach and my teammates, especially teammates Alan and Kane, who have helped me score goals.
A good level of the soccer has been shown in the different categories of the departmental tournament at the Erwin O'Neill Football Stadium. And on the other side, in baseball, the minor categories also is playing. The departmental league continues their process with the little baseball players. In a direct elimination game and looking for their place in the quarterfinals of baseball playoff, the teams of Loma B and San Luis face each other at the Eduardo Castro Stadium. San Luis took the lead at the end and was able to capture fourth place in the baseball tournament. Eric Erazo, the coach of the Loma Baseball Club, gave us more details.
Bueno, nosotros somos el
We are the Loma Team B. We had to play against the team of San Luis, a very disputed game where we took the advantage at the beginning. They evened the game, and at the end we managed to get closer, but we did not do well at all. Then the game was 8-7. It was a direct elimination game where two teams that were in 4th and 5th places were trying to get that position, and unfortunately we were eliminated from the tournament. However, this does not stop. We must continue training the boys. We started training this week on Tuesday so that more boys from 7 years old and up can come back. We will be there practicing and training them in terms of sportsmanship.
A hard-fought game between the two teams demonstrates the progress in baseball of the minor categories of the department. This will be all in sports for the moment. I am Victor Fusalva, Teleislas News.
Thank you, Victor. With sport news, we reach the end of our broadcast. We see you tonight at 8 p.m. with more of Teleislas News. Good afternoon.